Connecting. Good afternoon. My name is Earl Bell, and I currently serve as the board president for the Snow Valley Chamber of Commerce. And we are excited today to host a business workshop featuring Jim Osgood, the owner of TrueViews 360s. Jim's program today is Understanding Google Local and How to Increase Your Ranking. And briefly, what you're going to get today is something very timely. During these scary times, getting your business to appear prominently in Google search results will help drive actual customers to your business through searches carried out both in Google Maps and Google Search. Today, Jim is going to show us what we need to do to ensure people look for our product, service, or location online so that they can find us when they want to find us. Jim, thank you for being here and welcome.
Great. Thank you, Earl. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm excited to be here too. This is a follow-up from the conference that we had with the Google expert a couple of weeks ago, in which she talked a lot about the Google search and what you need to do to get found. One of the things that she didn't talk a lot about was Google Local. She spoke a fair amount on paid and organic. So I thought it would be a really good idea to bring this to your attention to show you how you can generate more leads from Google ending up on the first page using Google Local Search Strategy. I don't know if you know this, but there are between 3 and 5 billion searches a day on Google. That means there's over 40,000 searches a second. And an average person will do a search 3 to 4 times a day. So it's very important that, you know, if you want to get found, that you're able to get yourself exposed so people can find what it is that, whatever the product that you sell is, or the services you provide. So let me tell you a little bit about me and why I am an expert in this arena. Back in 1985, I started a company called Office Finder, and it's a lead generation service that is online. It's a pure online play that generates leads to local real estate agents throughout the US and Canada, as well as executive suites. I've been in the SEO field trying to promote Office Finder ever since then. That's basically, if we don't get found on Google, we don't do any business. So things have changed over the years. It's been a long time. We've started to see kind of a downturn in our positioning with Office Finder. So I was looking for ways to be able to help promote Office Finder in the Google search results. And that's where TrueView 360s came in. What I did is I went through all of the local executive suite and co-working spaces and did virtual tours for them. It turned out pretty well. Unfortunately, it didn't do a whole lot for my organic search results. Part of that problem is that I'm competing with billion-dollar companies, and they can outspend me considerably and outpromote me by a large scale. So how do you get found on Google? There's basically 3 ways to get found. And our Google expert from a couple of weeks ago spoke a lot about the organic, which is the normal search results, and the paid results. What we're going to be talking more about today, as I said earlier, is business information results, which is also known as the local results. So search is based upon what your search intent is. Your search results will be based upon the search intent. The results are designed to help people find information or something in a specific place. Examples: restaurants in North Bend, gas stations near me, doctors in Snoqualmie, how to fix a broken bike, how to make pasta. I'm sure you've all done Google searches in the past, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. What you might not know, though, is how local search is different from normal search. As I said, local search results are designed to help people find something in a specific place. The normal search results, sometimes called organic, are designed to help people find specific content on the web. So here's an example, and it's going to be based upon my business, which is virtual tour photographers near me versus how to take a virtual tour photo. So if you're looking for virtual tour photographers near me, these are some of the results, similar results that you receive. And you'll notice that on the top, you have the paid advertising. In the middle, you have the local results with a map. And this generally has 3 to 4 listings on the page. You notice this one also has an ad, so you can advertise in the local results as well. And then on the bottom is the organic results. And these are the most difficult to achieve first page rankings on. So here's a little close up of the what's known as the local pack. And this is the image that you saw previously on the first page, and it is actually on the first page of Google. So when someone's doing a search for this, this is how you can end up on the first page, up at the forefront, to be able to help generate more leads for your business. If you click on the bottom, you'll see it says more businesses. You can find a lot more, and you can see the little dots all the way through, which will show where these businesses are located, so that you can make your best choice of where you would like to contact the person involved. It also has filters up there, so you can do additional searches based upon a lot of these filters. So here's how to take a virtual tour photo. You can see there's no local pack, but there's a lot of different features. They've got featured snippets, but there's none on this page. Those are basically, very often it'll say how to do something. It'll give you steps to do it. You've got related questions, which you can see here in these results. And then you have knowledge panels. They're not on this particular page, and a video carousel. And then finally, at the bottom, you have the organic results. So local search is, oops, I apologize, hang on, let me go back. Local search is to make sure people looking for your product, service, or location online can find it when they need it. So what is SEO? Well, it's an acronym for search engine optimization, which is the process of optimizing your website and online presence to get organic or unpaid traffic from the search engine results page. In order to do this, search engines will scan or crawl different websites to better understand what the site is about. Google will take into account three key things when evaluating the importance of your site. One is their perceived expertise of the site, how much authority the site has, and the trustworthiness of the site. These are basically the keys to being able to get good positive SEO. If you keep those in mind and try to figure out how you can ensure that Google thinks that your site is an expert, and how much authority it has. Authority is very often related to how many backlinks, how many other people are actually linking to your site is kind of the authority key. And then the trustworthiness. There's a lot of scamming out there, so Google's very concerned about it. So is local SEO worth doing? Well, here's some stats. Google's survey found that half of the people who did a local search on their phones visited a site within a day. These are motivated prospects. These are the prospects that you want to be able to get to come into your store or to contact you to buy your product or service. So 1/3 of mobile searches on Google have local intent, and more than half of all Google searches are on a mobile device. 71% of people will look on Google for a local business information to confirm its existence and or location before visiting. As I said, there's a lot of scammers out there, and people want to make sure that where they're going and what they're going to see is worth their time and effort to go visiting, especially in the time of coronavirus. It takes an average of 10 reviews for someone to trust a business, and 50% of consumers will only use a business with 4 or more stars. That's important. We'll get to that a little bit later when we're talking about the Google listings, business listings. So where do you start? Well, first place you start is the Google My Business. It's a free tool from Google that lets you basically manage your business information, and to a certain extent, also the results that come out in the search results. In other words, the description and the title of your business. And this is the first place you have to start when you're talking about SEO, to be able to get your company up onto that front page of the local pack. And it's for any business that interacts with customers offline. So where do you start? Well, hopefully you all have Google My Business listings, but if you don't, it's very simple to set up. You simply go to the google.com/business. You complete the basic information that Google asks for about your business, and then you verify your business. And typically verifying your business can be somewhat of a challenge. There's situations where people have tried to verify it online and have been unsuccessful and end up having to have a postcard mailed. But there's a number of different ways to do it. And once you've done that, then you can go into optimizing your Google My Business listing. And you do that. This is on this picture on the right over here is actually my Google My Business listing menu. This is the menu that will be up on the left-hand side of your Google My Listing, My Business listing. First thing to do is to add photos. Add photos of your business or your products or whatever you can add that's related to your business, including a virtual tour. Studies have shown that businesses that have both photos and a virtual tour have twice as many people coming to visit as those that don't have it. The other key in here is to request and respond to reviews. There's a link that you can get out of your reviews section in here that will allow you to request reviews from happy customers. Ideally, you get as many positive reviews as you can to be able to help promote it. This basically will help in terms of the trustworthiness of the business that we spoke about earlier. One caveat right now is that Google is not accepting reviews during the coronavirus. They don't have the capacity to evaluate the legitimacy of the reviews in this time since they have so many people not working. But that you need to keep that in mind for the future. They also you can also need to monitor your insights, which basically tells you, what sort of performance your site, your listing is having, as well as to review review your reviews. You make sure that they are reasonable, and you can always, if they're not someone that has actually visited your company, you can make a request to have them removed. And you also have the opportunity to respond to reviews. It's also a good idea to respond to every review that you have. You can also add posts or offers, and you can do this on a weekly basis. You can add a post. It's kind of like a little blog post in your My Business. You can add a picture, and then when someone searches for you, we'll go through this in a little bit, but when someone searches for your company, they'll be able to read whatever it is, whatever your offer is, or whatever your post, whatever your update is. It's a very interesting tool to be able to communicate with your potential customers. You also need to add products and or services. You need to identify what it is that you are selling. You can see that's down a little bit further down in here to be able to help you generate specific business to those products and or services. They also have a messaging service. I don't use this, but it's a text messaging service that you can basically respond immediately to visitors. I think that you probably need to have a fairly good sized staff to be able to ensure that you can get back to them in a timely fashion. And then there's also question and answer sections. And believe it or not, you can actually ask your own questions and then answer them. And once again, this double asterisk means that that's currently not available because of the coronavirus and Google's inability to be able to monitor that fully. So I wanted to give you a few examples of of companies that we've done virtual tours for and what their keyword phrase is. And you can basically see this is their local position. As I said, the first three positions are the ones that are generally shown on that map, which means that, for instance, if someone's looking for Bothell office space, the first position on that local pack is going to be Premier Workplaces Bothell. And you can basically see as we go down the line, there's some really interesting ones. Seattle Wedding Dress Shops, that's a pretty big deal there. They're number 2 in that local pack. And this saves them the challenges of having to get into the first page on the organics. There's only 10 listings on the first page of Google search results. And if you didn't know this already, roughly 76% of people don't go past the first page. So if you're not on the first page, you're not very likely to be found on the Google search results. So in addition to optimizing your Google My Business listing, you need to take the time to make sure and optimize your website for local SEO too, because they are linked together, and Google does scan not only your Google My Business listing, but also the website that's attached to that. First thing you need to do is you need to know your keywords. And the best place to do that, I'm not going to go into too much detail on all of these because this is the SEO itself is a huge industry with all sorts of different things that can be done. But these are kind of the basics. But the Google Keyword Planner and AdWords is an excellent place to start. You don't have to actually do any ads. You can create a free account and do your work in there. And then you need to optimize your homepage and your various web pages with your top keywords. You probably need to have multiple pages for individual groups of keywords. You don't want to try to stuff all of your keywords into one page. You need to optimize your metadata. This is some of the code that goes into the web pages, includes a title and a description. That title and that description is usually what shows up in Google search results when someone finds you, so they need to be compelling. You need to create a separate web page for every product, service, and location that you have. Google is a computer, basically. They're their algorithms, and computers are not terribly smart. They only know what you tell them. So if you don't tell them what it is that you're doing, they won't be able to figure it out. You also need to use local business, organization, product, and services schema. I've got a link in here, and you can we'll go ahead and send Earl the PowerPoint, and you'll be able to click on that. But it's a code that you put into your websites that will help Google understand where you are, what you sell. So it's very important. And then also, one of the things that people sometimes overlook is updating their NAP citations on your website to make sure they're equal to your Google My Business listing. NAP stands for name, address, and phone number. So, for example, if for me, my name is TrueView 360's Virtual Tours. That's what I used on my website. That's what I use on my Google My Business. If you were to change it, we'll have one as TrueView 360's Google Virtual Tours versus TrueView 360's Virtual Tours. It could cause confusion with Google. Once again, it's a computer. It's not necessarily all that smart. It can do a lot of calculations, but it can't infer information as readily as people could. You also need to make sure that your website is mobile friendly and fast. Google's indexing, they will give you more credit and place you up higher in the search results the faster your site is, and if it's not mobile friendly, sometimes they won't even index it. So you need to make sure that it's a mobile friendly, also known as a responsive website. You need to add your business to local directories. You know, a good one is Yelp. That's a good example, but any directories that basically can help identify you as a local business. Once again, that will help Google with the trustworthiness to realize that, hey, this business is really here. Also, you need to have links in your website to your social media accounts. Very often, Google will actually pull out the results from, say, Facebook and say, hey, they've got 15 positive reviews in Facebook. So you need to have kind of links in there to make sure that Google can fully understand all of the relationships that you have. Getting backlinks from other local businesses is a really important factor. This has to do with the authority aspect that we spoke about earlier in terms of how Google will evaluate your website. The more backlinks you have from related sites, the better. So you don't necessarily want to go out and get a bunch of backlinks from sites that have nothing to do with your business. They won't help you a whole lot. And then once again, use local schema markup. This is the schema we spoke about a little bit earlier, where it helps Google identify, where you're located and what your products and services are. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few of the examples here of some of the businesses that have had some success. So the first place we'll take a look at, we'll go ahead and take a look at Bothell, the Premier Workspaces in Bothell. And this is basically their Google My Business listing will show up over on the right-hand side here. And as you can go through it, you can see they've got some photos. This is the map. This is how people would get directions. You can go to their website, and then it will give you all sorts of information. This is kind of the basic information that Google will ask when you're initially setting it all up. And then they've gone through and they've talked about, they've got their list of products here. And so they've got, you can find out more there. You've got reviews, and as I mentioned earlier, they've got 4 out of 5, only 1 vote, but this is actually from Facebook. So, and then this is their basic description, which you would have put in at the beginning of the application when you set up your Google My Business account. And then they don't have any posts here, but I'll show you some that do. So, but we can take a look at some of their pictures, and you can basically see that they've got a fair amount of photos for people to be able to see. These are obviously stock photos, and then they've got some 360s, and you can basically see that on these 360s you can actually kind of walk right through the office to be able to kind of see what's going on. Google likes these. This is a Google program that we're involved in. This is a program, the Google Trusted Photographer program. But basically, Google likes this content. They want to not only have their Street View program, but they want to be able to basically go and see inside all these businesses as well. So let's take a look at another one. Snapdoodle Toys in Kenmore is another one. We did, once again, it's kind of the same. You can evaluate it similarly here. And here's, they've got a ton of reviews. So these are direct reviews here from Google itself. And then once again, they have their information, their basic information. You go get to more. So I will also show you, this is TrueView 360s. We've got the photos, we got the reviews, we got the products. And then we also have, this is where the posts are. You can basically put the posts. Obviously I just did one just to make sure that I could be able to demonstrate it. But these are other posts that I've been doing as well too. So it helps people get a better understanding of what it is you do, and it gives you the opportunity to tell them what it is that you want to tell them. Oops, let me get back here. Okay. So at this point, we can open it up to questions. I will see if I can't get my chat box going and see if there's any actually, does anyone have any questions at this point in time?
Yeah, it looks like Julie has a question. Now, why
I did.
don't we find out what's on her mind?
You used the term backlink.
Uh-huh.
Could you define that for me?
Yeah, certainly. A backlink is a link that links back to your site. So if you say your site's abc.com and there's another site out there in the world, say efg.com, and they have a link on their website that links to your website, abc.com, that's considered to be a backlink. Does that answer the question?
It does. Is that common for businesses to link to each other in that way on their
Yeah,
website?
we've just spent a huge amount of money with an SEO company developing backlinks to particular pages to try to get their rankings up. It's a very common, it's the most common, I would say, means right now that businesses are using to generate a higher perception of their business, higher authority factor for Google to be able to get better search results.
How did you do such a thing?
Oops, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
How did you do that?
How do you do that? Well,
This is such a new concept to me that.
Well, there's two ways you can do it. Is you can just contact other websites and say, hey, we think that your visitors might really enjoy what we have to offer, and we would like you to put a link on your site to us. Another way to do it is just to contact another website and say, hey, I've got some really good content. I'd like to write a little article for you. I'd like to write a blog post for you. And in that blog post, you basically write an article that their visitors might be interested in, but you also include a backlink, a link to your site in that article. That's probably the most common way. I get probably half a dozen requests every week for Office Finder for other websites to write guest blog posts. And I do accept some guest blog posts, but they have to be related specifically to what my visitors might be interested in.
Thank you. I just had never heard of that. So hence the reason I'm here.
Good. All right, so do we have any other questions out there?
So Jim, a question for our Chamber of Commerce members. It's a little more general in nature. The main purpose of your business, TrueView 360s, is interactive virtual tours. And I'm wondering, on behalf of our members, are there other services that you provide that they may be interested in learning about?
Yeah, we actually provide a whole bunch of different services. Let me go and I'll basically show you. One of the things that we're offering to the members right now is a free Google My Business evaluation in terms of being able to help them figure out what they need to do in order to rank well in that local pack on the first page of Google for their business or services. You can see we have this right here in our price list. It's normally $175, but for Chamber members, we're doing it complimentary to try to help them through the coronavirus crisis period.
Thank you, Jim. And then just to clarify, appreciate the offer, huge value for Chamber members. I imagine there's an expiration date on this generous offer. What might that be?
I would say when the stay-at-home order comes off, it will come off as well.
Terrific. Thank you.
Great. So I think any other questions out there?
Looks like Kelly had a question, or maybe she just wanted to say something.
I'm good. Thank you. I was just going to tell you there's another 3 o'clock meeting tonight or today from the governor.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
News at the speed of light. So what I'm going to do right now, Jim, is thank you for presenting this information. What we will do is provide a recording to all our Chamber members, and really appreciate you taking the time to share with us information that I'm willing to bet less than 5% of our members truly understand.
Yes.
In terms of how to leverage Google to optimize their business. So thank you again, and appreciate you being a member of our Chamber. Thank you.
Appreciate the opportunity to present this. Thank you very much.